right, so the meeting will now come to order.
Recording in progress.
The meeting will now come to order. First, let's do a roll call. So, Neda Abdelrahim, Chair, present.
Rebecca Keogh, present.
Gerard Punnacook, present.
Paige Sharp, City Staff.
Rob Shakespeare, present.
Gretchen Knoll, present.
Christina Elam, City Staff, present.
Okay, thank you, everyone. So the next thing on our agenda is the approval of minutes from the last meeting. So the secretary's draft of the minutes of the June meeting was sent to everyone, and a copy is in the meeting packet. Are there any corrections to the minutes as distributed? Okay, there are no corrections. I move to approve the minutes as distributed. Can I get a second?
Second.
Great. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed say no. I don't like doing the ayes.
Yeah.
I've made the executive decision. We're going to do yes now.
Good job.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Minutes are
Did we
approved.
take a vote on that?
I sounds very piratey, so.
Yeah. It's very like old school.
And we're not
I don't know.
pirates.
Yeah, it didn't fit the vibe.
Yeah, man, I'm here.
Yes. All right. So next we will go. You're good. Next we will go over to the city staff for updates.
Okay. I just realized you want to do the funds first and then the budget.
Oh, budget. Okay.
I'll just blow this up.
We can't make that a notch bigger, can we? Yay!
Hooray.
You're so clever.
So on this budget, you can see where there's actually been expended the $76,000 for arts project support. Under other funds, it says emerging artist professional development. In the past, that line item has been at $5,000, but we recently found out that $5,000 was attached to funding that no longer exists. So, but the good news is, I was like, well, I don't report that without good news. We did find that there was professional development dollars already encumbered from another year. And so we've resurrected that and put it here for $2,750 with, what's the name of the individual, Christina?
Andrea Sterling.
Yeah. So one of the things that she does that I'm really looking forward to in terms of artist professional development is artists collaborating with one another, because it's a really strong area for artists, and I think some practices on how to do that effectively is always warranted. So we're also meeting with her in the future to have discussion about what other potential workshops to offer, and those will happen this fall, and Christina will be coordinating those. And that's it for the budget report.
Nice.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Austin.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Hi, sorry about that. Really caught up with work.
You're good.
Good.
Okay. The next thing was public art in the right of way. So one of the things that was launched right at the transition and departure of Holly and Chaz is the public art in the right of way policy. And so it used to be merged with Public Works, where if you wanted to do something in right of way, you would go through them only. But because the questions are different naturally, not with a special event versus art, they separated the two. And so one is that it's been launched, and so we do have a public art in the right of way policy, which is great. And here it is. And so it kind of goes into like different definitions of public art, and then also a little bit about the process and applications and things people will need if they want to propose a public art project in the right of way. So this is it. This is our first iteration. We'll be kind of editing and kind of doing different versions, but just wanted to let you guys know that this has been launched and in place. A lot of it right now was also kind of coming out of the Black Lives Matter mural debacle that happened. So that's another reason why this was kind of needed. So yeah, we have that, and then we also have the application for that. which is through Civic Access. We won't be able to see it now, but I will just show you, hey, it's on the Civic Access portal. So this is just what the public goes to. So they go to apply. And then you have to go all and then just scroll down to art in the right of way.
So it's Civic Access Portal, not Arts Commission portal.
Correct.
Okay.
And so they'll just fill out the application there. And it gives you like instructions on kind of what we expect before they actually put in their information, and then that'll kind of get routed to Paige and I, and then we'll just kind of go through it. So that launched, and we just wanted to let you know that that's live.
Two questions.
Yes.
Has it gone through legal?
Yes. So.
Because they always mess. Oh, I'm sorry. They always add things. And
Yeah.
secondly, how is that funded?
I'm not sure how to answer that question. Jen.
It's
What
not
do you mean?
funded.
It's not funded.
Yeah, it's not funded.
Just like if you want to do something with a group or on your own.
Oh, it's that sort of
Yeah.
thing. It's not like painting electric boxes. Or,
It's just like if you want to do anything, you need a permit to do it. So this is
Okay.
the,
Like
the
thank you.
permitting
Like
process
an
for
art
art.
That's good.
The art permit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so this would be on someone's like personal property, like business or home, or is that the only context that this happens in, I'm assuming? Or is
Any
it-
right of way. So right of way is just basically public property. So sidewalks, alleyways, those
Streets.
streets, those types of things that they want. So it would be for traffic boxes, but they would just need a permit in order to do it. So it's those type of things. Yeah.
So they wouldn't necessarily be approved to be able to make that piece of art, is what I guess I'm wondering what's okay, they apply for a permit and they just create art, but what if it's not good art? Yeah.
So
my
that's where
question.
we'll go through.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, go through us. Yeah, that's a great question. That's where we'll go through us, and because we'll be able to see the back end of what they're proposing. And then that's also kind of goes into like the public art subcommittee, where we want to kind of have a greater discussion of how we want to include the subcommittee as well into that process, or how that will
Good
even
idea.
look.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so that's kind of how it's going to work. So that way we have some type of process on what actually kind of goes through.
Okay, so it wouldn't, not every single application is gonna be able
Get a
to
permit.
do their project like they want, right? It has to be approved by the city.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, right now it has to be approved by the Department of Public Works.
Mm-hmm.
And so Christina has gone through this process because we're both very new and we're like, oh, there's a policy, which is great. I'm glad there's a policy because that's the only one I've found so far. But they will make a final decision about the artwork. But it does make sense, maybe not for everyone, but some of them to go before the Public Art Committee where it's like unclear. So, and so we're getting our heads wrapped around the policy and how it's actually implemented and how it's meaningful. So we just got an application from Lotus about all things that they're wanting to do in one application, which we're like, wait a minute, what? So we're going to have a meeting with them and they may have to resubmit. And so we're still getting our heads wrapped around the process, but the city is definitely wants to make the decision about it. We're also learned that if the artwork changed from what they put in the design that was approved by the city, then the city will take it down. So some pieces, like for example, could be in the right of way, like obviously the traffic box is going to be there for a while. So they take that role pretty seriously. So that's another sort of interesting intersect to think about too. So when we think about public art, we're going to be talking a lot and down the road. We'll tee out that conversation, the Public Art Committee next week, about policies and processes. So, selection criteria and really sort of think through all of those elements.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's good to know this exists. I didn't know about it, so.
Yeah, we didn't
Yeah.
either,
Right.
but
We didn't
so now
either.
you do.
So is this gonna pertain to the students that, they're constantly drawing and painting all over the sidewalks for like their fraternities, sororities and all that?
Yeah,
They're gonna have
that will
to-
be in the right of way. Yeah,
Okay.
and I think the other element is how is this getting communicated out to the broad community, right?
Yeah.
So we'll have to work with the Department of Public Works to understand that as well, and how we can get that information out. We just got our heads wrapped around the policy because Christina had to go through it. You have
With
to
the
do a
tracks.
resolution and a cover
Right.
memo and all sort of madness because it's city. You need a lot of red tape.
Is there a fee for it?
No.
For the permit?
Nope.
It's free.
It's free.
Oh, that's nice.
But I wonder about like the questions about the students because they're usually drawing on the sidewalk on campus. Are those different rules?
Yeah, but like
or?
Third Street, that's a city
Oh, I
street.
guess that's
you
true.
know.
Yeah.
So in some cases they may
Still
need to.
public property. Yeah, as long as if it's public property, then it's the right of way.
Mm,
So
okay.
like the sidewalks or the streets or.
Is there gonna be a fine if you do it without getting a permit?
I have no idea. That we need to meet with them and just do a lot more recon than we have, because we also know that one little policy and not sharing what the application is and the steps and the timeline is of no benefit to the community either. Like,
Right.
there's a lot of information that still needs to be shared. We're trying to figure out what those steps are. But that's a great question, because we were wondering that as well, like, what's the consequence of violations and things like that.
I think also too, like, what is public, like, what is the public, street, right, versus what is private, like IU Street or whatever. I think that is, I assume a student might not be thinking about that, or I think we have to at least be able to point to, this is how you could figure that out, or this is who you asked before.
Yeah, or what if there's a map or something,
Yeah, yeah.
straightforward.
I don't know if that's possible.
Maybe that can be IU's job to communicate that to their students.
Yeah.
And not us, whoever's in charge of that.
Yeah, but it's like, obviously, administration from IU or whoever kind of deals with those things, hopefully they're in communication with the city and that this is an ongoing conversation. I feel like it's not always the students' faults, right? Because I don't think that, I feel like
They've been doing it
definitely
forever.
administrators don't always think about the students. in my opinion.
Right. I mean,
Even though they say that's what they're
it's so
doing.
bad for a kid to
Yeah.
draw on the sidewalk.
Especially with chalk.
Yeah, for sure, which is not permanent.
So,
Yeah.
so would this include Eagleson?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a city street.
And there's that bridge that gets painted frequently
All the
between
time.
theater and drama and the School of Music.
Great point, yeah.
What is bridge? There's a bridge that gets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the bridge
Eagleson
by the,
The
we
paint-
have
The
halls.
paint from previous paintings are about 2.5 inches thick.
that's awesome.
They do
I
it
love
like
that.
every semester.
That's great.
At least.
Something like that, yeah.
At least, or a couple times a semester, probably.
A couple
The bridge
times,
might be
yeah.
IU property, but the sidewalk certainly isn't.
It pretty much stays to the bridge, occasionally it spills out.
Yeah, I don't know, but there's, quite a bit of places that,
It'd be great if there was a map.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's like, this is, I don't know, I think it's just great to have
A
to
visual,
point out
yeah.
for students,
Of course.
just in case.
And what the exemptions are. I mean, so a 4-year-old is drawing on the sidewalk in front of their house with some chalk, they're gonna get busted,
I wonder too if it'll be like, if just somebody puts in a complaint, because I can't imagine a city worker's walking around
They're not
the
gonna know.
entire streets and like,
They're
oh,
not
I
gonna
see,
know.
so I mean,
Right.
imagine it would be
Right.
someone sees art they don't like, or somebody doing something they don't like, and they know about this policy, and
Or
they
something
complain to the city,
controversial.
I don't know, so,
Mm.
we'll see.
Great questions, though. I took
Yeah.
some notes because there's just some of the stuff I hadn't thought about,
Yeah.
and IU communicating that out, and where's the
Or at
line?
least, like, what the line is between,
Yeah,
and
what
who's
the point's
communicating maybe
permanent.
between city and.
Usually it's
I don't know.
chalk and it comes off pretty
Yeah.
fast, or
Yeah.
water paint.
but tagging stuff, like spray can.
Well, do it on the street.
Guerrilla
Some
art.
definitions in the policy too, that we
You
can always-
youngsters can read that.
No doubt, it's like,
Is there a way to?
Well, it's just like temporary art, permanent art, semi-permanent art, and street art,
painting
performative,
or
and
street
speech.
art.
So,
okay.
but yeah, we could always, add.
Can you point that towards the public art committee, just send us a link or something, makes it easy so that's on
Yes.
things.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Something
you're right,
maybe.
it'll be more like complaint oriented, if somebody does something offensive.
Or that somebody else finds offensive, or that they
Yeah.
don't like, I think that's when it becomes like sort of tricky, so, just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, which I think that's where the Department of Public Works wants to weigh in on it, and I think it also has to go through legal first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So that's where it starts to dilute
Yeah.
dilute the work a little bit, and I think it's clearly intentional design.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Great. Well, thanks for sharing anyway. This is
Yeah.
good to know.
So. Here we go. I'm gonna put our video on so you can see us. All right.
There we go.
There we go.
Nice.
Any more updates from the city before we move on to the next item on the agenda?
That's all.
Okay, great, thank you. So I see the next item on our agenda is a presentation, assessing and communicating impact.
Yeah, a presentation, I shouldn't have used that word, it's a bit of a misnomer. It's more like gathering feedback from you guys under the topic of communicating and storytelling. So when I started consulting for the city, it was evident that there's no share out about anything beyond like a press release. So the impact of the work that you're doing, the impact of any of the arts department, city, public funds, anything is being communicated. And I use the word storytelling because I think it's more than just a number, right? It's like we funded 47 grants to the tune of $76,000, or over the course of the year, that total amount, the number. It's also, as a result, we put money into the pockets of artists and they were able to advance their creative career. Here's how, and sharing some of those stories. But rather than, you know, me dictating what we're going to be sharing out, you guys are a really astute group, and I wanted to get input from you all from some framing. So, for example, one of the things to think about is if you had a skeptical community member about why the arts are important, what kind of information would you want to share with them? So that's one of the questions. And then we kind of step back and go, what are we collecting in order to be able to share that out? So let's first truly ask that question. Like if you're really looking to advocate to someone about the importance of arts and how the BAC has a role with that, what kind of information would you want to share?
Well, every year there has been a presentation where this group has been part of it to the council about around budget time.
Okay.
And there was I believe a collection of slides and a narrative that went with it that advocates for the importance of arts to whoever happens to be on the council at that time. So there's a starting place maybe.
That's good to know. No idea about that.
You're gonna have to give that.
Do what? I'm gonna have to give that. That's a good thing I'm thinking about it.
In 5 minutes, and we tell you.
Rob.
No problem. I could totally talk in front of hundreds of people.
As a business owner downtown, I would say to any naysayers, if you look at successful towns, cities, in whatever size, the more and the better quality of public art, the better the economic situation is. So I think public art is directly related to economic success. So
You could probably pull data on that too. There's data that's probably can be pulled on that too.
Yep.
From just knowing what I know in some of my classes that I've been in too.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah, not all public art is installed for economic purposes,
No.
however,
but, yeah.
I mean, if there were naysayers, that's what I would say.
Right.
Like, it's beneficial in many different ways,
Or the
including
arts.
economically.
Arts and culture in general is beneficial for the vitality of the community and economic basis. You can pull in the economics of arts and culture into
Right.
that.
Mhm.
So has the city come up with its statement yet as to who we are? They were working on it last year, there were consultants working on it.
There was a consultant working on it?
Yeah.
Really?
Um,
God.
I don't know the status of the brief.
I mean, the core of
It was
this
in
is that we all know that the
Yeah.
arts, cultural expressions
They get paid
are a
for
powerful
it.
part of
Anything they
Bloomington.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, they
I would
do?
hope that whatever has been
I thought
woven
they
from
were-
this consulting group
I'm
would
gonna have to
support that.
ask on that. I don't know.
So there might, document itself might be a useful
Yeah.
thing.
They
But none
didn't
of
do
us
it?
have seen the work.
Oh.
I don't know that has been,
never-
that if there has been
Oh, that's
any release or anything on it.
Do you know when this consultant?
My understanding was that it was taking place through 2025. I don't know the exact timeline, but I remember at one point they were, like, whenever the consultants were coming in, they wanted to bring them to a grand balloon and whatnot. And this was last year, so I don't,
From Indianapolis,
but
right?
but I don't
Yeah.
know what the exact
happened.
timeline was.
Yeah.
What the rules were. So.
Good to know.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Good
But
to know.
I mean, I think if you we brought up to Jane.
Well,
Yeah,
we were,
Jane,
I think Holly had suggested that it would be very useful when this statement comes out, rather than us trying to invent it every time we do a call, that we could point a public art call also to this document that speaks about the values of Bloomington. So,
Wow. Okay.
it-
It wasn't like an in-depth conversation at any of the meetings, just like maybe one, like a year ago.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of the firm in Indianapolis, but we could probably find it.
costs us money, rest of the city.
Yeah.
God. Okay. Yeah. All right. Something around 2025 around a consultant around branding the BAC. That's good to know. I mean, maybe storytelling
it's-
has been
it's branding
happening and
the
I'm not
city,
aware of it, and I'm
you
just
know.
like thinking, oh my God, we need to do some storytelling. But you guys have done it at all, or beside? I mean,
I think
there's
it
one
sounds good
city
to do more.
council.
Yeah.
What else? On the website, any
I wonder if like
in a report?
if we've ever made like some sort of like pamphlet or like online on the city's website, like people like highlighting projects that were like successful or like
Yeah.
you know, with photos and like potentially, I don't know, like there'd have to be somebody attending the event, potentially if it's like a projects grant or you know, depending on the grant, if it's like for the advancements grant, you know, interviewing an artist 1 year later, like, you know, what did you get from this and like what were you able to create, and like being able to show that some way visually, probably, that we could at least point to and say like, yeah, these are some examples, because I don't think we could highlight every single artist, though I know they're supposed to
Some
write a report.
standouts.
They're supposed to write a report as well,
Yeah.
so that could be a way in which we recruit people potentially for this like highlight,
Mhm.
either online, virtually, just a virtual kind of way to look at it, or if you wanted to make something physical, or a combination of both.
What are your thoughts on, because this is something I've been thinking about too, is creating like a structure, timeline, so it's consistent, like a weekly or a monthly share out on social media. I was thinking along the same lines with a grantee, and Lucas from the mayor's office, just the first day I got here, like volunteered to do some sort of media on social media for us. Like, I was like, great, somebody will do it for free, awesome. So he could potentially interview a grantee. Is that something you guys would be interested in?
That sounds good.
I
Okay,
think the
cool.
more presence, the better,
Okay,
honestly.
more presence, the better.
Yeah,
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
there's, my daughter's got her degree from the media school here, and there's like, if you wanna get intense about it, like certain times of the day you're supposed to post. For the greatest exposure, your intern
There's
can
certain
probably find
days.
that really quick.
Certain days, certain times, you can definitely track it through Instagram. I have to track a lot of the stuff for what I do for my current job.
Oh, really? Okay.
So like, well, so if you're on Instagram, you can see analytics and you can see peaks
Okay.
and downflows of when people that you follow or people
Mhm.
that you don't follow like are peaking during the day. So like, for instance, we had our students tend to drop off at a certain time, obviously, but we could see our high peaked time to when we're like posting things. Yeah.
And
So
like 3 times a day.
Oh, that's not
So,
good.
and from just knowing from my marketing classes that they've taken, like within arts, culture spaces, the more you feed the machine, technically, like the more you feed a content machine being like something online, the more engagement you'll have just in any community. It's hard because if you're obviously a small team, but mighty team, it's hard to kind of make that happen, but obviously, but
I think realistically though, I don't think our goal is to like necessarily
No, like,
have like a
big,
higher
like,
media
yeah.
presence. I think it's more so just to like have things that we can point to
Yeah.
and like ways that people can find like those stories of success stories, right?
Yeah.
Of people getting these grants and like, okay, we're not just giving this money out into the ether, right? We
Right.
throw it out, we like send it out and it never
Yeah.
comes back. I think it's just more so like having those like examples.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the bigger the presence, the better for like First Friday or if we're having anything to do with arts.
Right.
Because there's
Yeah.
a post about everything.
That might be a good thing. I don't know if you guys do this or have done it in the
What's
past,
that?
but like if there's an artist who's gotten a grant from us in the past or something, I don't know if this is too much of an ask, but highlighting that like, oh, they'll be at these First Friday events or they're showing here. I don't know if that's like too much, but if you guys find the capacity for that, could
Yeah,
be some way to stay
it's great
connected.
It's
to
a good
collect
idea.
these testimonials.
Mhm.
But there needs to be, I think, this overarching thing, this branding thing, this who is Bloomington and how these things fit into it. And I know Paul and I were wrestling with some verbiage for the forthcoming call for the Gateway art piece. And then going back to the one that Rasic got one and other things. There is some text in there that tries to differentiate Bloomington from other places in Indiana. And, you know, so if you've got that sort of importance of culture, and now you've got these testimonials that are the grassroots of why it's important to culture, I think, you know.
I love that, and I feel like that's important in terms of retaining population. So if you have a post, I mean, here's the assumption. We can test that assumption, right? It's like if the local artist, and we have a post, and it's like Bloom here, it just psychologically attaches a little bit more, and that's part of the issues that we're seeing is there's a demographic area that is being lost in Bloomington that we're really wanting to retain. So that would be really great. I like that a lot.
Austin, do you do that for secretly? Is that one of your jobs or not? Do you do any social media?
No, that one's usually, I think Angela does, but kind of like what you were saying about
Yeah.
like peak time posts and things like that, like for the most part, everyone's pretty aware of that.
Yeah.
But any way that I can help with social media, sure, I mean, I'm pretty Chris and
Okay.
Did you just say you'd be willing to help? Just checking. That's what I
Us
thought.
old people can't do that. We need the younger demographic.
Well, I mean, I just.
I'm not there myself. It's not that I can't help. It's on. I don't want to do. Actually, guys, I have a flip phone, so social media.
Oh my God! Good for you.
That
I'm on my
rocks.
way out.
That's a statement right there.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, I try not to engage with it because I just don't want to get sucked into it. I don't know if it's a matter, you know. Okay, so great. Is there any? Because we are collecting information in the final grant reports. Information has not historically been collected. So the grants team has been great, and we've had conversation about collecting information. You know, number of folks that have attended, because those stats matter. At some point, I think it would be really helpful to get like leverage funds, so anything that was contributed other than by the city, because that amplifies the investment. So I think we're gonna work on like a social media share out, and I'll devise a plan, or maybe even, I mean, ideally I was hoping to get like a master's student at IU to do that, because I just think that's a really great project for a student to do. And I'd love to have it done sooner than later, because I feel like it's really valuable to start getting that out the door. But I think at the very least, if you're okay with it, I'd love to start finding a system to contacting grantees and start helping promote them, and at whatever time of day is the best time to do. I'm sure Lucas knows, and luckily then they can share that out, and I think it'll just help them promote themselves as well, which is of value. Well, great. This has been helpful. I just want to make sure I'm not
I have a few
missing something.
A few quick. I mean, we've talked a lot about like the impact of like granting, but I think it's also important to articulate the importance of like the public artwork
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
that we do as well, the support there. And I think, I mean, like, when I think a lot, I guess, about the many different ways that the funds, or like that the funding has impacts. I guess I guess you call it like diversity of impact. There's economic benefits. There's like just like recreation and entertainment. There's like sense of community, health, and like it just like it finds its way to like we're not just funding like visual art. It's like we're funding like all different types of audiences, from like really like niche experimental stuff to like more traditional kind of like stuff at like family in the park type stuff, like neighborhoods, venues. Like it's just like it's like there's just such a breadth of places where that like those public funds go. And like there's like that like sort of like direct impact, but then also that like indirect impact as well. Like it's huge, and so so I think articulating that like that really like expanded, I think, impact is
That's great. Yeah, art's very cool. Impacting non-arts and also the diversity of arts disciplines and the type and depth and breadth of projects. Love that. That's
part of our identity.
great.
Gerard
It should also be
knocks
part
it
of it.
out.
As always.
As per you.
Which is also, this is also really helpful in terms of capturing information in a final grant report that's easy to capture, like a drop-down menu, so that I can collate that data. That's how I have to think about this stuff, which is annoying, but true. What else? Thinking along public art, what are some of the things that could help demonstrate impact or share a little bit of storytelling or something maybe we should be collecting to help share the story of public art in Bloomington?
I think images
Okay.
are gonna be the best.
Okay.
Always, yeah.
Okay.
And it's easy enough to use anything to like have a picture of, say, a park that has a piece of public art, and then this is what it would look like without it. You know, it's like, look how important this is right here.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that a lot.
I think it would be interesting to hear perspectives from like younger people. Like I'm really curious what kids think about public art, what like the students think about like the city that they're living in, even if it's like temporary. I feel like there's something interesting about they probably wouldn't be lying to us, and I would be curious to hear like what they think about their community that they're sort of
Transit.
yeah. Either as students or even like children, like you don't really get to choose where you're living. So I think it's just interesting to see that kind of perspective because we hear from adults a lot.
Yeah, and kids are natural born artists, and they just are.
Yeah.
And they'll be completely great.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right.
So
I just imagine like a fun video or something, or like asking them, "What do you think of this mural?" And
I
just
love
like
that.
I think it would be super cute. But
That
yeah.
would be super cute.
Totally. I think Lucas would be all over that. Lucas has no idea what's in store for him, apparently. Oh my God, great
I know.
ideas.
I know speaking of videos, I know that for the Duke murals, Caleb was one of the artists, and he created
Caleb Ford.
he created a video of just like his experience
Oh.
doing the Duke mural. Especially that was his like first like large scale mural, and so he talked about his process and experience with the city and just like working with other artists and the design process, and it was really interesting. So
It was really good.
yeah.
He does social media for Parks and Rec Department.
Oh yeah, I met him. Yeah. I was kind of bummed that he would work for the city because I thought he'd be great on the commission, truthfully. So I was like, oh man.
Yeah, he's super involved.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
This is
He's
Video
great.
also does really well, I think, social media.
Oh,
yeah,
Like,
social
that's
media
like the
wise.
best
the parks
way. No, I mean in terms of
No,
like
just video
engagement, a
Oh,
video
right
does
on,
the best
okay.
compared to a photo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
So it could be a good
Shorts.
thing. Yeah.
yeah. And a lot of
More
artists are
interesting.
like already documenting their process, so you can get that
Compile.
somehow
Yeah,
compiled.
somehow compile it or
Even if there was a way, I was just kind of thinking too, like to have like a link
Is there like already a link to like a social media on the website?
Probably, most likely. I don't know.
Just double check
Probably,
from that too
yeah.
for consistency, like making sure that like the social media is like connected to our Arts Commission like website and like all this stuff and I don't know. It's all about storytelling.
I'm still
so.
trying to figure out the login and password for Facebook for the Bloomington Arts Commission. I mean, I asked Bethany. I don't, I can't find anything. So yes, I totally agree.
So yeah,
once we figure
and
that
then like
out,
link, maybe even like links to like also
Yeah.
testimonials or like I don't know, just to keep promoting all this too. Like not just that we have like our agenda and stuff like that on, and when we meet, but just like who we are, like what we're about on the website. Like I don't know,
yeah.
just
and,
promoting it.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
The screen's completely black for me, and I don't know what's happening.
Oh.
Which is why I probably wouldn't be the best social.
We can hear you.
Okay. This is
You're not
All right,
just.
but, at work, what we do is we'll hire some young people, get some young blood, and they usually handle the social media aspect, but more importantly, as far as doing interviews and just being excited and letting people know what we do have. I don't know her name, but hi, I'm Jackie, and I work at Secretly, and today we're doing Record Store Day to show off all of Secretly's catalog in the store, and then they also get the record store. They give them some recognition. So what I'm thinking in this case is perhaps maybe a newer commission member or whoever might be somebody that would be like a mascot of sorts to kind of be the public facing aspect. If we're in the back in the shadows doing stuff, and then they're like, and here's what came out today. Not so much as dark as I said it, but someone really just take the reins with the microphone. And, hey, this display here in People's Park or whatever, and just kind of let people know what it is that we're up.
I love that. That's fantastic. You guys are such a sharp group, really.
Not me.
Well, that was a great
Yes,
ad.
you are.
We're gonna go find that unicorn and we're gonna get him out there. We're gonna get him on the team. But I think I know exactly what I know exactly the prototype of human that you're talking about. I think we may have an applicant, so I will look that up. But if not, I think it would be a great student opportunity too, right?
Totally.
Yeah, that'd be so cool. It'd be great for them on their resume, to be the BAC
Anything.
arts mascot. How cool is that?
Like president of the social outreach committee.
Oh.
Sounds good on a resume for someone,
President
right?
of the social
I'll
outreach
create a
committee.
title for 'em to use.
I love that so much.
Interns love a good title.
Yeah. They have to use them on their resumes, so.
Yeah. I was spitballing stuff with our intern Drew. I was like, oh, and if you did this, you could say this. And he was like,
Yeah.
ooh. I said, that stuff matters. All right. Anything else? Public art wise and specifically?
Well, you had mentioned
Yeah.
the potential of matching funds
Mm.
or leverage funds, right?
Right.
Every time I've brought this up since I've joined the committee, the person in your role and others have just laughed at me.
What?
But just a sec when I bring this issue up. So the city has 1% for the arts.
Mm-hmm. Sure does.
Developers don't. And I really think that it should be pressed that, and let's put some idea out there. If you're putting something in Bloomington over 20-30 million, that there's a consequence of supporting something in that environment that has
love
aesthetic
that.
appeal, right? Maybe it starts with 0.5% for the arts, but just to get the wedge in the door and to come up with some threshold for it so that they're matching the spirit of what the city is doing.
Mm. I have a great case making for that. If Rushville, Indiana can do it, so can Bloomington, because that's
Rushville
true.
does that?
Rushville does. Rushville,
So
Indiana.
it's legal.
It's codified.
Yeah.
Codified.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, you create some benchmark.
Oh, totally. I've got the policy. I've armed
I'd
with
love
that
to see it,
policy.
because I've been like,
Yes.
at
Yeah,
this for a
I'm
long
just like,
time.
here. If Rushville can do it, you can do. I mean,
Yeah.
because my God, seriously,
I love that.
Rushville.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm down. I think we would have to take some time to build political collateral to get to that point, but it was initially adopted in 1994, which of course is 32 years ago. So I think it's ready for some spit and shine for sure. I think that's a good longitudinal goal to focus on. Because I would love to have more funding in that kitty for sure, because I think there's some really fun stuff that the community could do, large scale.
Yeah.
That would
Need
be
it here.
community wide rather than it's like a little dip here and a little dip there. Other thoughts while we're like changing the universe?
We're just changing the earth here. Changing
I was thinking, along with the incremental, like, okay, these are things that we're doing, kind of along the lines of like the presentation, that yearly presentation that happens at the end of the year. If there's just like a year-end review or something that can be posted on the website of like these are all the things that we accomplished this year, I think that would be helpful. So and then they could always see every year what we've done in the past or this year and things like that.
How would you see that as like a more broadly shared, like, so you have the budget meeting, that's not the end of the year. The end of the year is the end of the year. I could see that dovetailing, like, this is what we did in December, and maybe it's like a January thing. Maybe it's launched in an arty party or whatever it is we're supposed to be doing, you know. Sorry, ours are tough for me. But is there a platform that would be of value to get that out more broadly than the we're pretty insulated right now in terms of where we get the word out. So any thoughts on that?
Well, there's that newsletter,
The mysterious newsletter. Christina forwarded it to us today because I hadn't even seen it.
Yeah, so maybe that should be something we should look into more.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe we should have more ownership over
like the
it.
email that comes out?
Yeah, that comes
Is that
out
what you're
every
saying?
month.
Yeah, okay.
add it to this.
I haven't
That's what
seen
it shows.
this.
Yeah, she hasn't seen it.
We'll follow up with the link to sign up for the newsletter, which apparently Drew and I signed up for it, but I haven't received a newsletter yet. And when Christina forwarded it to it was quite illuminating that it like comes from the Bloomington Arts Commission, but the name is the City Arts Newsletter. So I was like, okay, well that makes it feel a little bit better than the Bloomington Arts Commission newsletter that the Bloomington Arts Commission doesn't review, doesn't
Yeah,
have
right.
anything to
Don't
do
have
with.
a
So
say.
now it's a City Arts newsletter. I think that feels to me a little bit more comfortable. What are your thoughts?
I mean, this person works for the city?
That does a newsletter?
Yeah.
No. I
Okay.
mean, it's contracted, we contract Indiana Arts and Humanities Institute, and Bethany does it right now. And I wanted to continue to do it that way until I could develop like a storytelling action plan, and then we'll like relaunch, maybe even with this branding that somewhere lives somewhere in an archive of, I don't know, in 2025, so.
Yeah, I feel like that's fair. I think that definitely I would have that on the radar in terms of, I think that'll be a really big way that we can highlight projects, like artists, things that are happening, end of the year, you know, one of the newsletters could be like end of the year, what we did this year kind of thing. So I think it's a really,
Somehow
great
there's a way
way.
to get more ownership over that newsletter somehow, or at least like what can go into it. Newsletters are generally a good way that if they're going out to the community too.
Right.
Emails and newsletters are generally a good way to get information out to people because I constantly send newsletters out for my job as well, on a basis. So we can
Perfect.
talk about this at length, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And these conversations will help inform, because right now it's not bad. There's images and there's opportunities. There's no standard
These are just
process
all
for collecting.
opportunities for
So many opportunities.
opportunities.
okay,
But
so we are,
this is
we're
great.
kind of hitting close to 6:30, so I want to give time to the other agenda items.
Absolutely.
So, not to cut anyone off,
Ooh,
I think if
I'm
there's
good.
any other ideas, email Paige. Is that what
Yeah,
they should
please
do?
email
Okay.
me if you have a, perfect.
Okay, great. So let's move on. Next agenda item is from your chair, and your chair doesn't have anything for you. So no news is good news.
Yep.
So I'll move on to our next agenda item, which is to Rebecca for public art.
The only update right now is that the DBI downtown public art installations have begun, and the first traffic box of 5 is being repainted, unless the city has other updates on that project specifically. But that's the only update as of There'll be more next week, but
I have a question about public arts, and maybe I should just email, but if we could do the public arts meeting the same day as this one, so there's not 2 separate meetings, it would be so awesome.
That's a long block of time.
I mean,
Any-
if we could just get it over with. I'm sorry. I don't mean to say it like that.
It is a lot the same week. Would you like it on
Just
a
like the
different week?
same day as the Arts Commission meeting. We have to meet once a month.
That's tough on me.
It is, okay.
I'm just saying.
I mean, we could
Yeah.
always resend out. In February we
Yeah,
sent
I know.
out like to see what worked for everybody.
What
and
time
this
worked
time did
and-
work for everybody, but we can always resend it because we've had people leave and come back and come
It's been
on, and
sparse.
so
Yeah.
since then, so we can just always resend out a doodle and see what works.
Okay. Again for this year.
Yeah. Yeah. If that works.
I have just more of like a personal curiosity, but I think just to ask as well. Are there any updates on either the Undulate installation in Hopewell or the Gateway call out?
The gateway call out, what's the gateway call out?
The Miller Shower.
The Miller Showers. Undulate, we're waiting for, quotes for the concrete that needs to be,
Sure.
there in order for the piece to be installed, but the hope is to be completed by the end of September for ribbon cutting. That will be, I don't know, I think it was this Friday is, the deadline for, concrete folks to put in a bid.
Okay.
So we'll see what that is, because the city picks up that cost. And then with the gateway, we're meeting with, the Parks Department, I think Friday,
Okay, cool.
and hoping to launch that call, August or September
Okay, cool.
for a late spring, summer installation.
Okay, cool. Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's great.
For Race 6? Or is
Race
that-
6 is Undulate,
Yeah.
Gateway will be an open call.
Okay, so when you say next summer.
Next summer installation,
Okay.
yeah, oh god, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely,
so-
so this fall, put out the RFQ,
Mm-hmm.
and then late spring, likely early summer installation.
Next year, yeah.
Next year, yeah.
Cool. Great.
So you do have a template for that,
Mm-hmm.
which Paul and I wrote.
Oh, you wrote an
Yeah.
RFQ template? Okay, I'll revisit that. Okay. That's it for the, unless there's,
Yeah, I'll just say, going back to the DDI. So we were able to do some tabling and collect some public feedback for that alleyway, between Peach Cobbler and J.L. Waters. So there's gonna be a mural on the side of Peach Cobbler. And so we were able to, and we're still collecting feedback till the end of the week. So, I should send that link out, and you guys should fill it out. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so the call will
Beautiful
launch.
alley.
Yeah,
Beautiful,
so it's gonna be
underused.
and then we'll launch the call next week.
Who's funding it?
Downtown Bloomington.
That's
Inc.
great.
Great,
Yep. So
awesome. Is that Celicia
yes.
doing that? Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
One more question.
Yes. No.
The substation mural that you shepherded is an incredible success.
Mhm.
That was funded by Duke Electric, right?
Yeah.
What about the other surfaces?
Yeah, that's something that we'll have to reschedule. I have to revisit. So the original project was to paint all sides, except the one that's not facing the public
Yeah.
side. So I think it's like 5 sides total. And so we started the first installation. Duke only provided a portion of the funding for it. So a large hangup is just funding. So that's just something we just need to revisit.
Great.
Mhm.
'Cause that's a story in itself that should be archived as to the importance of a community, the artists that were brought together through this organization, and the success of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, sorry, back to you.
Sorry, thank you.
That's it for the public art updates.
Thank you. Now we'll go to Gerard for grants.
So I think as Paige mentioned in the budget, agenda item, like funds are starting to go out the door for the arts project grants, 76K, which is, that's a good chunk of change. Really excited about that. So yeah, I mean, or I shouldn't say it's starting to go out the door.
No,
but
because all of the contracts
Right.
are mired in legal and have been
Sure.
for the entire
I-
time.
I don't mean like I
Getting closer.
like, but that process is underway.
Yeah.
The artists know the contracts are being made.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yay.
no funds have actually left the band yet, but it's getting there.
4 point,
Yeah, sorry, I misspoke there. And I mean, at least for the commission, for now, it's kind of like, it's out of our hands. And then we just get to celebrate it and talk about it and share the wonderful impact that it has. So for the artistic advancement grants, that link or that call is live, and it's up to $2,000 for individual artists or artist groups that are looking to advance their practice or their career. That is open until I believe it's August 16th. They're August 10th? Okay, sorry. Yeah,
I thought it was the 10th.
Okay, yeah, August 10th. I saw that the Office of the Mayor recently posted about it on Facebook. I saw that, so like there are links, and there is promo that's going out to the public. And I mean, I guess a quick note for folks. I think it's likely that we will probably recruit from the commission again to do reviews for those. We tend to. This is the grant that we, I think, tend to get the most applications for. Like this grant is in the past definitely broke 100.
Oh man, 'cause there was like 78.
Yeah. So I mean, if we're on the trajectory that we were with the project, we should expect a pretty high volume. I don't know necessarily, like putting it again. This grant also used to be either in the fall or the spring. It's in the summer now, so it's like
Won't be as many.
so potentially. But yeah, and we do have we are scheduling it now as opposed to just sort of like figuring out when we're going to do this review session. We are going to do the review session sometime the week of September 14th through the 18th. But this is the week directly in the run up to the grants committee meeting, so that we can at that meeting approve the funding package, and then the process to get those funds out the door can take place shortly afterwards. So yeah, just put a note on your calendars for sometime during that week. I'll be in touch with more info as we get closer to it. But that's when we'll review and go from there. And then not too long after that is the operations grant, but we don't really need to go there quite yet. So yep, that's the report from Grants World.
I found it really insightful volunteering into the committee to do some of the reading.
Okay.
Totally.
But one of the things I did notice is that there was a conversation about when these projects are going to be completed. And if the money isn't being issued yet, wasn't it like before September or October or something?
No, it's the window for spending, I believe, is July 1st through next June 30th.
Oh.
Yeah, so they have a full calendar year.
Fine. Then never mind.
To spend the funds. Yeah,
Every program will have a full year.
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question about the grants? I just want to make sure that the
the Blockhouse grant that they wrote, I don't know who wrote it,
Mm-hmm.
but they did mention in that grant that it was gonna be used for part of their payroll or to pay their employees, which we're not allowed to do.
That's not unallowable if it has to do with the project.
No, it was their staff at the, their regular staff that they have.
Okay.
I just don't wanna get in trouble for that.
Sure.
So I just wanna make sure,
Sure.
Okay, I'll review that application.
I do think also like this came up a little bit in like terms of a lot of the folks filling out the application listed all their expenses, but they
Yes.
didn't necessarily say they were gonna use the money from the like the committee or the from the city to pay that specific thing. So I think there was some confusion with that because I think like a lot of them were just maybe the way it's like written in terms of funding that they're asking for needs to be more clear in the future, but like yeah, they were just like doing their laundry list of costs, and I think we weren't always sure what they were planning to use it for,
yeah, 'cause
or
there might be like 10 different
sometimes they
items.
would
Yeah.
say yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that we kind of talked about right a couple meetings
For more
ago.
complex
Yeah.
budgets, yeah.
We just need to make sure they don't say that.
So
Yeah.
maybe the grant, and this adds more work, but maybe the grant says we are supporting this aspect of your
Right.
project.
Yeah, or
To be
maybe we
clear.
have to like ask them specifically to say, like maybe there should be two sections of what are your total costs and then what costs are you looking to fund from this grant specifically.
Right.
So there might be just that language change might be enough, but
Yeah.
What we could do is, that they certify that they are using the funds only for eligible expenses, and if they're, if they need to modify their budget as a result, then submit a grant modification form, and I have a link for that.
Yeah,
I like that.
just to clear.
Yeah,
this is-
that's what,
yeah.
that's what kind of protocol,
great.
so I'll do a certification.
Anything else, Gerard, or?
Oh,
Good.
no, that's the end of the
Okay.
report.
Thank you. So now we'll just move on to upcoming events. So Christina, if you don't mind pulling up the event calendar, I think it's very sparse, like 3 things. Yeah. So we just have a few things coming up. If we are kind of short on time, so I'm gonna just say if there's an event or anything happening in the next couple months that you know about, you think we should know about, please feel free to jump onto this Google Sheet and add it, or you can just like send me an email, and I'll add. If you're just like I can't be bothered, just send me the information and I can add it. But yeah, so at least that we know what's going on and we could potentially attend any of these events.
It's the big ones.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's move on from that to comments or commissioner announcements or questions. Any comments or questions from the commissioners? I do have one thing that I want to bring up actually for our city folks. Any updates on new commissioners? We're still 2 down,
Yeah.
and we'd love to fill out the roster.
The update is, I talked to the mayor's office, and they haven't extended an invitation to somebody, and they're waiting to hear back whether she accepts or not. We do have a pool of applications, but we're just really not getting anybody that I think would round out the committee well. I guess for me, I feel like we need somebody with arts experience to be on the committee. That's kind of, and I think particularly, we need members on the Public Arts Committee and somebody with visual arts experience, I think in particular would be really beneficial. The individual who has had the invitation extended would be like the best human ever to have on the committee, but, and I'll go quickly because I know we're running out of time. But she's super busy, so I don't know, and we have another possibility. But that's where we're at. So I think we're gonna have to actively think about who we can recruit or who might be good to serve on the committee.
Right.
Do you want us to send any recommendations?
Please
that we
send
can think of to
recommendations.
you,
I would love
or-
that.
okay.
Recommendations, why they would be good, and any like links, web pages, social media.
Do you have to send them to the mayor's office or like
then they'll have to
council,
submit an
yeah.
application to confirm that
Yeah.
they're interested in it, but I think
Yeah.
somebody, like I said, with visual arts experience particularly,
Mhm.
and speaking to what Austin was talking about, maybe a younger member who could
Yeah.
be the mascot to run around and do cool social media stuff. I mean, that's no joke, like, that's a
Yeah.
really good idea, so,
Mhm.
maybe Austin has some suggestions, I would welcome all.
I mean, that's a great idea, but I do want to say that this is a volunteer position, and it's like that's kind of a time commitment. So I wouldn't want to put that kind of pressure on somebody. So
Yeah.
whether they are like, oh, I want to join in, or if it's like each commissioner does one video or does one feature. I just think I want to caution kind of that pushing people into that position because we're not getting paid for this, and it can be a lot of work already. So
Mhm.
just to kind of make
Maybe
that.
look at a budget for an intern to do something like that.
I think that would be
That's a
better.
fair,
Yeah.
wonderful point.
Yeah.
So, any recommendations, please forward.
Okay, visual artists.
We also used to have a very active person in the community in the more traditional music world. And she would be advocating for all sorts of things I'd never heard of.
Mhm.
And a very powerful member of the committee.
Yeah.
And well connected in the in the city. So that might be another aspect of what would be useful to inform us.
I mean, definitely, if you guys have anybody in mind, make sure you talk to them first. Like, are you interested? Do you have time? This is
Okay.
kind of the I
Right.
wouldn't probably send the name to Paige, but without their consent or them being okay.
Okay.
Like I can do it because I feel
That
like if
makes sense.
if you do all that work
Right.
and they're like, I don't have time for this, then
Mhm.
it's kind of a moot point. So, yeah, just something to keep in mind. But
Okay.
you guys are all really well connected, so I'm sure you know a lot of cool folks that
Yeah,
would be
think
interested
about
in
it,
doing
for
stuff.
sure. Thinking about that person we just met in the
Oh, yeah.
hallway. That's like bomb of visual arts, what they're doing, right?
I mean, I'm just seeing the one.
Yeah.
I didn't see all the projects, but from the card it looks pretty cool. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So we're nearing the end. Any other comments or questions from commissioners? Okay. So finally, do we have any comments from the public? Is the public with us today? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah. Okay, great. So, no comments from the public. All right, so there being no further business, I move to adjourn the meeting. Can I get a second?
Second.
Great. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed say no. Meeting adjourned.